Hello everybody, welcome to another pick a card reading. This is going to be your 2021 at a glance. So this could be anything generalized or something a little bit more specific with your love life or career, anything like that. But I also wanted to throw in a little bit of a disclaimer with readings. If you see something that you do not like, if you hear something you do not like, the message could pertain to something else for someone else's life, or it could be a message for you that whatever it is you don't like, you have the power and ability to change it. If you've never done a pick a card reading, you can go ahead and pause the video, but you're going to pick whichever pile you are the most drawn to based on the number or based on the actual animal here. I decided to do things a little differently with animal cards instead of little charms. But here we have pile number 1 with the serpent, 2 the hummingbird, 3 the coyote, 4 the crow, and 5 the jaguar. So we're going to see what your 2021 has in store for you. Timestamps are going to be in the description box below. And thank you, of course, to all of my new and returning subscribers. I do appreciate you very, very much. I'm going to be linking my other social media and things down like that in the box below. So if you wanted to go ahead and check out any of those, you can definitely do that. And then, of course, I have my letter dice, my number dice, lucky number dice, things like that we're going to be throwing out here to see other little details and little messages that might pop up for your next year. So we're going to go ahead and see what your 2021 has in store. Hello, pile number 1. If this is the one you picked because you were drawn to the number 1, or if you were just curious about the serpent card in general, give you a little bit of a close-up. I really love the artwork on these cards. It's very beautiful. But the serpent, I feel like, is you're wanting to change. Like the serpent itself, you're wanting to shed your skin and kind of come up with something a little bit differently. You are not a biggest fan of quite a few different things that are going on in your life right now, so you're wanting to change it up. You're wanting to shed the old and bring in the new. Another thing as well with the serpents, you're very cunning, you're very determined, and you're pretty much a little bullheaded. But that can also be a pretty good quality when you're wanting to change things up. I'll pop that up here. Stop there. So we have quite a few cards, not too terribly crazy, but we do have a few. We're going to see what we've got in for your 2021. We're going to start with tarot as usual. First one we have is the 10 of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have Judgment. I can get these cards where I want them to be. We have the Ace of Wands. And then we have Temperance. So that is very intriguing. That is quite the setup. That's very interesting. So as you can see down here, this card deck is kind of a little interesting. What is this thing called? The Crystal Power Tarot. So up there are crystals associated with the cards, and then down here they also have little positive affirmations. So for the 10 of Pentacles, it says, I celebrate everything I achieve. The 9 of Pentacles is, I take the time I need to nurture myself. Judgment says, I look back with compassion for myself. The Ace of Wands says, I am inspired to follow my passion. And Temperance says, I find clarity through calm. So, like I was saying, very transformative, especially like with Judgment, Ace of Wands, and then Temperance. I feel like there's a lot of rebirth, new ideas, a lot of pacing yourself and really going towards something different, especially because, like I was saying before, with the serpent, you are really shedding your skin. You're coming up with new ideas and you're changing things up with the way that you want them to go. I love this setup. This is great. I was very curious to see the serpent myself, so this is very interesting. So with all of this, I feel like, like I said, there's a progression. Even though there's a little bit of aggression here, if you go from the 10 to the 9, it's not really that big of a deal. It's not that bad of a thing in really either any of the suits. From the 10 to the 9 really is just pretty much you have everything that you've ever wanted, basically. Everything that you're achieving, you are celebrating, as it even says. But then, of course, down here, for the 9, specifically, I take the time I need to nurture myself. So it's really just drawing it in. The card, or the crystals rather, for these cards for the Pentacles is malachite. Malachite is a masculine energy stone. It's also giving you the courage and the dedication to bring your own ideas, bring your new ideas into fruition. And of course, with the Judgment is the Bloodstone. Bloodstone the Malachite can be used as well, but Bloodstone is a stone very commonly used for wealth or finances. So bringing in the new, all of those kinds of things as well. Garnet with the Ace of Wands. Garnet is a stone that can be used for healing, for compassion, for understanding yourself. Some people do use it for money because garnet, of course, it's a precious stone, so it can be used monetarily. A lot of green, a lot of money potentially. And then blue calcite, even though it doesn't quite look like blue calcite, but it's supposed to be blue calcite for temperance. So nurturing yourself. Blue also does represent truth. So I feel like there's a lot of speaking your mind, speaking your truth that's going to be popping up for your next year. Next card that we have is the Eye. You are being watched over. The universe sees you and what you are trying to accomplish. Trust in yourself and the universe. You are protected. So I feel like there's a lot of things that you're doing. There's a lot of ideas that you have that you're wanting to just really throw out there and make sure that the things that you tried to do this year, you're going to work your butt off to make sure that you accomplish it even better compared to last year, or this year, 2020 rather. This next year for 2021, you are really on it, basically. Next two cards we have are these. I love these cards. These are gorgeous. So the first one is the Spirit of Isis. Beloved Initiate, there are times to surrender and let go, but there are never times to give up. Persist with your bold faith and inspired action until the impossible happens. Isis has the spirit of triumph, and it will never fail her in her quest. No matter how bold or impossible it seems, let her inspire you. Believe. This is a card about dedication. This is about moving forward. This is also about trusting the process a little bit. I feel like that might be a mantra, so to speak, that you have. That could be something like an affirmation that you have in 2021. Trust the process. I'm letting my guides, I'm letting the universe dedicate themselves to me as I dedicate myself to my work type of situation. And then this next one here. Initiation. When you are being initiated into the divine mysteries of light, love, and power, there are moments of profound challenge. The key is to find the light within the challenge, the opportunity for growth that can transform any challenge into an experience of healing. With compassion and cleverness, you will not burn during your challenges. You shall thrive. Again, I'm talking about rising from the ashes. I feel like that's a little bit of phoenix energy. Rising from the ashes. I love how it said the word shed, basically, in that, especially because you got the serpent. That also feels, connects a little bit to temperance. So there's a lot of balancing yourself out, balancing your understanding and free will, letting yourself be guided, but also taking action. That way your desires also become known. Next cards we have here, you have Moth Spirits with Surrender Now. Pop that up here like that. The next one is the Whale Spirits, Trust the Great Mystery. Put that one there. Oh no. I feel like I spend more time doofing around with the cards than actually putting them down. Okay. Ooh, and the next one is Bobcat Spirit. Life is a mystery. So I feel like for that is not exactly a bad thing. I feel like all of these are great. So the Moths Surrender Now. So this is, like I was saying, letting the universe guide you, help it understand, or help you understand that these choices and decisions that you're making, the universe has your back. The universe is like, okay, let's do this. Let's go, let's roll, let's make whatever it is that you're wanting a reality. And over here with the Whale Spirit, Trust the Great Mystery. Like I was saying, trusting in the process. I feel like that's going to be a big thing for you this year in 2021. I feel like this is going to be something that you're going to sit there and be like, okay, you know what? Here we go. I'm gonna roll with it, essentially. And then Bobcat Spirit down here, life is a mystery. So I feel like that's definitely something where you're wanting to, how do I say this? You're understanding that you are able to not control, because that's kind of the wrong word that I'm wanting. You're wanting to understand that things, I'm trying to get this more center. You're trying to understand that things are happening for a reason. You might understand too that you don't always need to know. You don't always need to 100% grasp what is happening, because you understand that it is happening for a reason, whatever have it. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of moments. There's a lot of green here, especially like right through here. Even the Judgment has quite a lot of green, especially right there on that heart chakra. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of healing that you're going to go through this year. There's going to be quite a lot of moments where you're going to sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to understand. Here, there's a lot of blue for the throat chakra, understanding yourself, speaking your truth, like I was saying. And then, of course, here, there's just that fire. This surrender now, I feel like it's not quite like giving up. That's not what this means. It's not giving up. It's just being like, okay, I'm trusting the process, but also, like I was saying, the universe has your back. So it's like, I'm going to go for what I want. I'm going to make sure that I get what I want. I'm going to let it happen. Everything is going to come through. I'm going to understand. And when things come in, I'm going to learn from them, everything like that. Like, it's not quite so much of a, giving up card as much like taking action. You're understanding that things are coming into play when they come in, but you're also ready for it when it does. The next one here, a time to say goodbye. Let's see if I can get the card without a glare. Probably not. A time to say goodbye. Something is about to end for now. So I love the for now. Very cute. So for now, I feel like that's pretty much exactly what it is. Everything is happening for a reason, but it's not a bad thing. Things are coming into your life. Things are going to be known to you. That's kind of similar to the death card a little bit in terms of tarot, but it's also a situation too where, like I was saying, you're shedding the old and bringing in the new. You're ready for something new to happen. You're not necessarily giving up. You're not saying, I quit. None of that. I'm feeling very much like this is just transformation. It's just a really big word that I keep hearing from you or for you. So the next card we have are kind of affirmation cards. Your words create worlds. So I love that this is 44. So there's a lot of things. I feel like this is a situation too where a lot of speaking your truth and understanding that where you're coming from, letting people know that, I'm ready. Something I just heard. I'm ready. That could be something that you're ready for the next year. I'm ready to do things. I'm ready to just be guided towards where I'm supposed to be. So I feel like that's something that you're going to be pretty on it this year, in 2021. The next one is listen. In stillness, you meet your true self. So this also comes for, transformation a little bit. This is understanding yourself, understanding that you're being guided by your spirits, your ancestors, whoever it is you want to look at that, however you want to look at that, the universe, whoever. Like I was saying with the eye, the universe is guiding you. There's going to be a lot of healing that you're going to go through this year, especially because there is quite a lot of green going on here. Even this has a little bit of green down here. There's a lot of green. Even the serpent, obviously, is a lot of green. The eye is green specifically. There is a lot coming in that you are just going to understand that it happens for a reason, but it's not going to be something that's so catastrophic that you can't function. Essentially, this is going to be something that it happens, and it's going to be something that you're going to be able to be stronger. You're able to, shed the old. Like with the serpents as well, with snakes in general, reptiles really, they're in a vulnerable state for the most part when they're shedding because, they're not going to be moving as fast and things like that. I'm pretty sure things kind of slow down a little bit for them. So they're in a little bit of a vulnerable state when they're shedding and things like that. So then they shed, and then once they're done, they become stronger. So I feel like that's also going to be something for you. You're going to shed the old and you're going to be able to come stronger. So we're going to be drawing some letters and see what we can grab for you. Got these? Okay. Okay. So we have two A's. We have an A, we have a C. Two H's. Interesting. Here's an E. Scoot that over that way. And an S. So this could be something specific that might be able to spell out someone's name. I do want one more. I just want one more. That one? Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sometimes it's a little strange, but we'll see. So I'm just going to roll it. Same thing while I do sometimes with the numbers and see if there's anything that comes out a little bit differently. Nope, S. Okay. So again, that could be someone's initials, anything like that. I do see Cass. So, CASS. I know a couple of people that they go by Cass instead of their full name, Cassidy or Cassandra or anything like that. I know some people do go by the nickname of Cass, so that could be yours specifically as well. There's also Hess in there, so HESS might be your last name or anything like that. And then it could also be an acronym or something like that. It could be initials, whatever. There could be something in there specifically that is whatever it is that you're wanting to make of that, if it makes sense to you. Not all the time do the letters make sense for everybody, because sometimes nothing in the letters pertain to you, but then the numbers do. So then we're going to be doing the number dice. So we're going to be doing the white ones first. The white ones are something that is going to be coming into your life that is pretty significant, but usually like, good luck or whatever have you. So this is just something that's going to be transformative in a good way. So this is something you can have that kind of aha moment, essentially. So we're going to give these a little bit of a wiggle. Okay, all the cards go everywhere. So we have 2 3s and a 4. Interesting. So that could be something specific because there is 2 3s. So I feel like potentially March might be, March into April might be something pretty intense for you, or something that's just like when things start to click or whatever have you. And it could also be a situation too where, it could be something different because that is 10. So maybe March 10th, March through April 10th, something like that, somewhere along those lines could be something specific for you potentially. The black ones are going to be something that are significant for you. These are going to be things that is going to be disrupted in your life because it needs to change for whatever reason. Could add up to a specific number, or it could be an actual date in general. So I'm going to give these a roll. Okay, interesting, you keep getting doubles. So there's 5 and then 6. I'm kind of very intrigued. The fact that you got 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then 6. It's very interesting. I kind of love that. But, so I feel like potentially you could be having a moment where January, February, you're just relaxing, recovering from the holidays, whatever have you, and then things are just going to kick into gear and things are going to start moving. So the red dice, even though they kind of look orangish on camera, they are red. These are love. This could be self-love. This could be romantic love with a partner, whatever have you. This could also be just, anything that you personally, associate with love and family life, whatever have you, however you decide to associate this with, or however it clicks with your life specifically. So we're going to roll these and see what we can grab. Very curious if you get another double. Okay, no doubles. We do have 1, 3, and 6 though. So we got another 6. Oops. So you got another 6, which could be something specific with 6 in general, which is very interesting. So 6 is one of those numbers that is just, you're really working hard. I consider 6 to be the dedication number. So it's definitely something where it's like, I'm working hard, I'm balancing things out. In terms of tarot, it's literally the 2 scales balancing things out. So I feel like that could also be something for you as well. So we're going to be rolling the lucky number dice to see if there's any number specifically and significantly that is going to be popping up for your year. And a 5. Okay. So 5 actually landed pretty well. So 5 is another number that I consider, like the 5 and the 6, I consider to be like, 5 is a halfway point, obviously, but between that and 10, but it's also a situation too where 5 and 6, I feel like those are the numbers where it's like, this is the moment to change. This is the moment where things are going to transform. Even if you look in terms of numerology, things are happening, things are moving forward type of situation. So I really feel like something along those lines is going to be pretty intense tense, but not necessarily in a bad way. Things are going to be rolling for you. Okay, so I feel like also the middle of the year could be something pretty on it for you. This is going to be something where you're just like, okay, I'm going to just move. I'm going to go forward with whatever it is that I have in mind and just be determined. And I really love that. You are very determined for the next year. You are moving forward. You are doing things. You are doing it. You are on it. Everything like that. Alrighty, pile number 1, this is what I have for your 2021 at a glance. I will be doing other videos as well, so if you like this one, definitely like the video and subscribe. I do loads of these, and I'm going to be doing another one based off of the zodiac sign as well, so here pretty soon I'm going to be doing 2021 specifically for your zodiac sign, and then of course love, finances, career, what have you. So until next time, pile number 1, the little serpents. Know yourself and know your power. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. If this is the pile you were drawn to based on the number 2, or if you were very curious on the hummingbird specifically. So hummingbirds, I feel like you have a very gentle nature. You're very determined. You're kind of like the Energizer Bunny because you feel like you're going all the time. So maybe 2021 could be the moment where you need to take a break for a hot minute and relax. But also here we have these beautiful flowers down here, so definitely taking time to smell the roses, so to speak. So taking time for yourself and maybe learning a little bit more self-care. So I feel like that could be something pretty significant for your 2021. So we're going to start with your tarot cards. We've got 5 of them this time, if I can get all of them out. At least we should have 5. We might have a couple more, actually. But first one we have here is the 3 of Wands. Now, these cards also have little affirmations down here, and then cards, or crystals rather, associated with the cards. So it says garnet specifically, and then I have the energy I need to realize my goals. So these are little affirmations that you can say or attach to certain things in your life. And then, of course, with the garnet can be used for determination, passion, and fire, but of course some people like to use garnet because it is, you know, a precious stone, so a lot of people love to associate garnet with their finances. The next one we have here is strength. Strength is associated with the Herkimer diamond, and then I can deal with whatever comes my way. Very, very, very true. So I feel like, especially with the infinity sign there, this is going to be something where you're going to be working on, you know, kind of not necessarily recovering, but I feel like you're going to have a moment where you're just going to focus on, you know, like I said, focus on yourself with the hummingbird, achieving your reality. The next one is the Knight of Wands with the yellow calcite. I make decisions without pressure, rather. So I love the Knight of Wands card, actually. This one is very determined, especially with the strength. Like this is a lot of determined energy. This is a lot of creativity, especially because there's so much yellow going on. There's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of passion. You're very artistic, potentially. So I feel like there's a lot going on with that as well. The next one is the Knight of Cups with Angel Aura Quartz. I know that the right person waits until I'm ready. So I feel like this could be a situation too where you are also making a change, not for someone else. You're changing up yourself. You're changing up maybe your ideals, your morals. You could potentially be, you know, not taking, you know, crap from other people and whatnot, and understanding that the right person in terms of relationships is going to come into your life when they come in. This is a very gentle nature. This is, you know, the cups move kind of quickly, but they also understand that their emotions are what make them strong. The last card is the Knight of Swords. Ooh, with ametrine. Excuse me. I choose my battles carefully. Which is interesting, because I feel like this card doesn't think things over very well. But the Knight of Swords, I love how you got the Knight of Swords on this end and then the Three of Wands, because I feel like it's very much just like a lot of energy of like, you know, I'm determined, I'm very determined. So I love how that's like at the ends of your tarot pulls, because I feel like that's very much how that goes. So Herkimer diamond, of course, is a very strong stone for a lot of people who use it for healing or for generalized things as well. It's a diamond, so of course a lot of people do use it for money as well, to help represent that. Yellow calcite. Yellow, of course, can represent your solar plexus as well. A lot of yellow going on here can represent your solar plexus, so definitely bringing in that creative energy as well. The Knight of Cups is with the Angel Aura. So Angel Aura Quartz, a lot of people use that for manifestation as well. And then, of course, connecting to your higher self is something that a lot of people use as well. Ametrine can be used, it's a combination of amethyst and citrine. So you can use that for money, or you can use it for helping to balance yourself out specifically. Ametrine is one of my favorite stones. So when I got this deck fairly recently, and it had Ametrine with the Swords card, I was actually very excited. So the next one we have is the Garden Gate. So it says, keeping yourself and those close to you safe is all about boundaries. Holding boundaries is good for you and your energy. So like I was saying, learning a little bit more self-love, probably understanding that the things that you experience, things that you go through, and also the boundaries that you set for yourself is because you're protecting yourself, protecting your energy, what have you. It's not a bad thing. Your next two cards, these right here. So the first one is Rising Sun. A dark phase and struggle is over. A new phase is upon you, one of hope, glory, light, and triumph. It is won through boldness and persistence. You have been through much, and now victory is upon you, beloved, for the divine solar child and new consciousness within you is born. So that could be something where you were just taking things over. This is supposed to be Isis, kind of looks like Osiris a little bit. This is Isis specifically, especially because she is holding the child. So it's a situation where it's being bold, it's being determined, being dedicated, protecting yourself and protecting your boundaries as well. So there's a lot of things with, if you're not necessarily needing to take time for yourself to focus on yourself more, if you feel like maybe you've been a little lackluster, or you haven't had any creativity, or you haven't had any moments to really go towards what you want, maybe with the hummingbird energy and kind of being the Energizer Bunny and just going for it, especially with the Knight of Swords, just going for it. You got 3 knights, like, come on now. Like, being determined, not feeling the pressure, understanding your emotions, that it's your strong suit, and then just weighing your pros and cons list and being like, okay, you know what? Boom, I'm going to do it. And then the next one here. The Dark Mysteries. The Dark Goddess calls you in her inner chamber, where she holds a test and a gift for you. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within that have been secretly holding you back. See? The gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all of its forms. Will you accept her call? Your time for deeper initiation is here. Probably a bad idea to pick these cards for this reading. I have trouble reading sometimes. But I feel like that really is right there. Like I was just saying, I feel like that one is pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. All right. Your next one here, we have our animal spirit cards. We have the lion spirit, be generous of spirit. I love that you got this and the strength. So I feel like for some of you, you might be a Leo. Curious, you were drawn to a hummingbird. But I feel like there's a lot going on with you, that you're needing to be bold, you're needing to be determined and strong and everything like that, and I absolutely love that. The next one is the bat spirit. Oh, I love this card. A rebirth is assured. Definitely setting yourself boundaries, but also just rising up. Oops. That's relatively even. Okay. And the last one for this is bee spirit. Sweet results await. So I feel like this is a situation too where potentially this year you were in a little bit of a panic mode, kind of. You were sitting there like, I don't know if this will work. I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should do that, kind of going back and forth, and sitting there understanding that these things that you're being drawn towards, or the little, how do I say this? The little messages here and there that you've been getting from the universe and from your guides, whatever, and they're kind of like, do this, it's okay, do this, kind of go through the gate as well, go do this, it's okay, and they're kind of nudging you towards whatever it is, and you keep slamming on the brakes, you're like, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet. I feel like this is coming through and like, it's okay, being bold is good, it's okay. I feel like for some of you, this just kind of popped into my head just because it is a bat, admittedly. I feel like for some of you, you're a little nocturnal, so probably for some of you, your best ideas come to you at like 1 o'clock in the morning, so that could be a thing as well. So this one is Sacred Beetle Armor. You have a mighty shield. A lot of this is about shield. I love how this is kind of reminiscent a little bit of, because this is the Pocket Isis Oracle deck, And it kind of reminds me a little bit with this one, just reminds me a little bit of something Egyptian. So you have a mighty shell, lion spirit, the strength card. You have a lot. You have got 3 knights. Like, there's a lot popping up for you that is determination and being headstrong, knowing where your determination is, knowing that your passion, your fire, your curiosity, everything like that is your strong suit, and not letting that hold you back, understanding that that shouldn't hold you back. These are pretty much affirmation cards. So your first one is deliver your greatest gift to the world. This little down here says to me. Deliver yourself to the world. Deliver your passion, your fire, your curiosity, your amazingness. Deliver that to the world. So I really feel like that is amazing. That's fantastic. I love that. The next one is the hero of your cosmic journey. This is trusting the universe. This is kind of like, the sword in the stone kind of moment here. Like, this is understanding that you are the hero of your own journey as well. You don't need to ask permission from people to take control of your life. You do not need to wait around for certain things to align. If this is something that you want to do, if you're wanting to change things, if you're wanting to make decisions, then just go for it. Don't hold yourself back. So we're going to be pulling some letters to see what we can get for you. If there's any names that come through or anything like that, we're going to do these. That's quite a lot. Okay. Okay. I think I had someone tell me that I don't put these in order, and that drives them crazy, and I'm sorry. So you have 2 E's, you have 2 O's, you have a D, you have 2 H's, F, U. So, okay, so I see food right off the bat. So maybe this is a situation too where, like I was saying, some of that self-care, maybe it could just be paying attention to what you eat more. Maybe it's just, just not eating as much unhealthy food, focusing on your diet a little bit more, whatever have you. That could be something that some of you are being drawn towards. Very interesting. That's kind of the only thing that I see right there, but of course it could be your initials or an acronym or something like that in there that means something specific to you. And of course we're going to be rolling the dice. So the first ones we're going to do are the white ones. These represent something that's going to be good in your life. Sometimes it could be like lucky numbers or anything like that, but this could be something that's just more specific to something that's going to come into your life. It could be more of like an aha moment. So we're going to give these a wiggle and see what we can get. So we've got 2 4s and then a 6. Interesting. So I feel like for some of you, it's a situation where this is like a lot of patterns for you. It could be a situation where a lot of what you're doing is maybe the reason you weren't moving forward quite yet or whatever is because you were trying to, make sure that everything was perfect. You were overanalyzing things a little bit or whatever have you. But also there too, it could be, April specifically rather, sometime in April could be something significant for you. It also could be, April into June, something having some significance. These black ones are going to represent something that's going to happen into your life that needs to change, something that's not quite going right, something that needs to just be shaken up a little bit. So it might not be your favorite time, but it's going to be something that's very important for what needs to happen to move you forward. Interesting. We have 5, 5, and then a 2. So the last group also had repeating numbers. So if you're drawn to both, maybe that could be something significant as well. So February, potentially something February. I feel like the first half of the year, so from like, January through June, something like that, is going to be pretty significant for you. I feel like there's just going to be a lot of synchronicities happening. There's going to be a lot coming forward that's just like, one after the other type of moment. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So these last ones are going to be your love life. Could be, romantic love, whatever have you. Could be how you associate things with your family, whatever it is. These, I kind of let people determine, what specifically you want to associate these with in terms of love. Some people specifically stick it to their family. Some people do use these for significant others or what have you. So we're going to roll this and see what we can get for love in general for you. And another repeating number, 3, 3, and 1. I love how that has also been sitting on a 3. So I say this with most of my readings. I roll this randomly, usually just because I end up dropping it. And whatever number it lands on, I just feel like that's something significant. I need to keep it there. So you got repeating numbers in all of them. So like I was saying, especially because January. So something potentially like January, February, March, all the way through until June, I feel like it's going to be something significant for you. Also could be a situation because you do have repeating numbers. You could be noticing a lot of synchronicities happening within the next few months. So we're going to be rolling this lucky number dice. Very curious if it does land on a 3 again. But we will see what it lands on. An actual number specifically that is going to be significant. I've had some people tell me that the number that it lands on, that number of each month was something significant for them. So it could be something as well. That was interesting. So it kind of is a variable of 3. It's a 6. So I feel like for 6, that's something that's very specific. That's something that's like, I am doing things. I am making sure that whatever it is that I'm wanting to do in my life, I'm going for it. In terms of tarot, it's talking about the balance, this versus that. The effort that you put out is also the effort you're going to get type of situation, or it should be. So I feel like for most of you, it is definitely learning that balance, learning that the next year is going to be coming in with a lot of synchronicities happening for you, and the effort that you've been working on through this year is going to come out of your rewards with the sweet rewards for next year. I love this. This is great. Potentially for some of you, you do need to focus on yourself a little bit more, because I feel like for some of you, you are a bit of an Energizer bunny. You're always on the go, and you might need to give yourself a little bit more love. But I feel like for a lot of you, you are definitely understanding that the rebirth, pull this card up, the rebirth that is happening is because it needs to happen. I feel like for a lot of you, you've gone through, 2020 in general has been quite the spiritual awakening year for a lot of people. But I feel like for you, it's a lot of, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Nothing seems to be going right. But then I feel like a lot of synchronicities and a lot of things that are just going to get thrown at you in the next coming year in 2021 is going to be just everything makes sense type of moment. So I feel like for a lot of you, this is going to be just one thing after another. Everything that you've been manifesting and wishing for this year in 2021, it's just going to be a big boom moment, and everything's going to come in. You're going to be like, whoa, okay. There's going to be a lot of gifts coming into your life, but also understanding that you are the hero of your own journey type of situation. So until next time, pile number 2, this is what I have, little hummingbirds. And until next time, know yourself and know your power. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If this is the one that you picked because you were curious about the number 3, or if you were just more curious about the coyote in general, I actually just realized that adds up to 3, so that was not planned. But the coyotes are very determined, but they're also a little bit more quiet. So I feel like you could be someone that's a little bit more quiet. You kind of keep to yourself sometimes. And also, I feel like you're lacking confidence. I feel like this could be a moment where you're needing to take a few bolder actions in 2021 and be a little bit more confident in yourself. Also wanted to say that while I was pulling the cards, the coyote pile had a lot of jumpers, basically. So many cards that were popping out that were just quite literally jumping onto the table. You also have one extra oracle card compared to the others. So I'm very curious to see your tarot. So the first one is the Two of Pentacles. So as you can see here, it has crystals association and then positive affirmations down here. So the Two of Pentacles is associated with malachite, which is a more masculine stone. It's something that is going to help you get some courage, help you maintain courage and things like that. And then it says, I calmly make the best possible decision. So I feel like that's a situation too where you're going to be making decisions and balancing things out this year. So the Hanged Man with selenite, I love that. Also, it looks like it's like this whole selenite forest down here. I can see this situation another way. So I feel like it's a situation too where there's a lot of things that you're going to be giving yourself a different perspective on this year. The High Priestess with lapis lazuli. My intuition guides me to the truth. Lapis is also known as the stone of truth. It also looks like down here, it's this whole river practically of lapis that she's walking on. And this looks like crystal towers and everything like that. So I feel like there's a lot of things you're going to be trusting your intuition a lot more. There's going to be a lot of moments where your intuition is going to be tested as well. So I feel like for some of you, it could be a situation where you're learning more about your intuitive and psychic abilities this coming year. Next one is the Seven of Swords with, Shungite. I always screw that one up, but it's that. I always mispronounce that, so I'm going to not try. I take great care of what I value. The Seven of Swords, I feel like, is a situation where you feel like this is like a personal distrust card. A lot of people, when it comes up for like relationships, it could mean that someone's being lied to. But I also feel like it's a situation too where, like I was saying, you're lacking confidence. You're not trusting yourself as much as you should. You don't give yourself as much credit as you should. The last one is the Seven of Cups with aquamarine. I trust myself to see the truth. I love how I was just talking about myself and then this one popped up. So you need to trust yourself. You see all of these options before you, and a lot of times it's a situation where some people see the options before them, but they don't always let themselves, kind of take part in all of these options, so to speak. So I feel like that could be something as well that you're needing to do. Like I said, you got one extra, so I'm going to have to squish these a little bit. So the first one is the Sacred Tree. It says, take advice from a wise old tree and build yourself strong with a good foundation. Rebuild your sacred space, build it with power. So I feel like for this one specifically, it's a situation where this card comes into play when you're needing to be confident, when you're needing to be strong, when you're needing to take care of yourself. So I feel like, again, some of you don't quite do that. Or you need to do it a little bit better, in a way. Next one is Candlelight. Shedding light on a situation and knowing there is light and hope at the end of the tunnel. So I feel like for some of you, you felt lost this year. You have felt like this year is worthless. This hasn't been a good year at all, whatever have it. You feel like 2020 is just the absolute worst. A lot of people do. But I feel like it's a situation for you where this coming year, for 2021, there's a lot of light being shed on things, especially here with a new perspective and being more in tune to things, trusting your intuition a little bit more, trusting yourself a little bit more as well. So these are your next two cards. The first one is High Priestess. Cute. Take that as a hint, y'all. A mystery is to be unveiled. A new clarity around your direction is unfolding. Be willing to wait for the full reveal, but also recognize what is happening at this time. You will be gaining valuable insight into where you are being led and for what purpose. So I feel like for that is definitely coming into play of like, you need to trust the process, but also understand that things are coming into your life at a very specific reason when it needs to. So you're being kind of thrown these things, or the universe is kind of throwing these things at you, but it's for a reason when you need it as you need it. So the next one, Life Restored. Spiritual resurrection is gifted to you now. Whatever part of you or your life you thought to be dead is being revived and will flourish back into life. Just as the phoenix rises from the rises from the fire, transitioning from death to life, so too will you rise again, healed and renewed. So I really feel like for a lot of you, it's going to be a moment of taking actions to focus on yourself. Like I was saying, with the building the foundation and things, trusting yourself, loving yourself a little bit more. I feel like for a lot of you, you've really been hard on yourself this year. You've been sitting there going, I'm this, whatever it is. You're kind of giving yourself a lot of negative thoughts, or the negative thoughts can be coming to you. But I feel like for this coming year, it's going to be a moment where you're going to be able to kind of snap out of that and focus on being yourself a lot more. Focus on being the better version of yourself. Here we have the Rabbit Spirit. Now is a lucky time. So I feel like for some of you, this is, I love how it's got like a little leaf wing. That's adorable. Little babies. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is coming into play. Like, this is going to be a good time for you. This is, oh, these cards are stuck. It's going to be a good time for you. This is going to be a moment that's going to come into play, and you're going to be like, wow, I'm so glad I waited for this. This is so amazing type of situation. The next one here is the Vulture Spirit. Nothing is wasted, okay? Everything, all of the experiences you've gone through, everything like that, it was for a reason. It probably wasn't your favorite time of year or whatever it is, but it's a situation where the moments and the things that you experience is because you're experiencing it for a very specific reason. The universe throws you curveballs to kind of test you specifically, to test your strength, and also when you come back from that, to show you how far you've really come. The next one is the Snake Spirit. Time to heal. Okay? You have to heal yourself. There's a lot of things coming in for you. There's a lot of things in general that's coming in that you have to recognize within yourself, because a lot of times, like I was saying, you don't really have that much confidence in yourself, and you have to give yourself more credit. I feel like that might be a bit of a struggle for some of you, and you'll need to give yourself more credit, that you are a lot more powerful than you realize. The next one is Snow White and her animal friends. You inspire trust and confidence. So I feel like if you're not already, you could be the person that people come to when they need help or advice or whatever it is. You are the person also that you have a very select, close group of friends, potentially. Or maybe it's just one or two, whatever it is. But this is a situation where you are also going to be that person here coming in very soon for 2021. You're going to be that person that people are going to go to. They're like, you survived this, you went through that. Oh my God, how did you do it? I need some help type of situation. If you're not already that person, I feel like you soon will be. These are going to be basically affirmation type of cards with the Soul Giraffe. So I feel like this is a situation where reaching high, reaching for the stars, reaching for the sun. Also with here, the little swirl in purple. So it's like opening up your third eye and trusting your intuition again, trusting yourself a lot more, because you don't really give yourself, again, I keep saying it because it keeps popping into my head. It keeps like being yelled at me. You don't trust yourself enough, and you need to. Your effortless effort is fully required. So I feel like for this is kind of trusting the process, but it's also like all of the effort that you've been putting in is going to come back to you in such a big way. It's a situation too where you're going to realize when things come into play, it's so much better than you probably thought it was going to be. You were really anxious about these decisions you were making, whatever has it, and you're going to recognize that these things coming in is just, way better than you thought. So this one here, we're going to be drawing some letters to see what we can grab for you. You really have to trust yourself. You might be a bit of a loner with the coyote, but you really have to trust yourself. Ooh, that was quite a few. Okay, so we have 2 A's. Oops. We have an S, there's an I. I try to put these in kind of order-ish, but obviously that's not happening. There's a D, we have an N, and then an I. Okay, so I do see dine, D-I-N-E, right off the bat. So it could be a situation where you need to take yourself out to lunch, take yourself out to dinner. Dine in a way that is nice for you. It also is a situation like food for thought type situation where you're, I feel like when you're taking care of yourself a lot more, trusting yourself, believing in yourself, whatever have it, that it's a situation too where you are being able to move forward because you're trusting yourself and you're giving yourself the opportunity to believe in yourself, trust the process, whatever have it. I feel like you have had a really hell of a time this year, and this next coming year is, the next coming year is going to be a lot easier compared to 2020. I feel like 2021 is going to be a moment for you that everything is just going to snap into place, or things are going to be a lot clearer than they were before. So, going to be drawing with the, or rolling, however you want to say that, with the dice. Oops, if I can get all of them out of the little bag. So, dice here, we're going to be starting with the white ones. So the dice are going to be something specific to, something specific. The white ones are anything that is going to come into your life. Could be like an aha moment or something like that, but this is going to be something pretty significant for you in general. Okay, so we got 1, 2, and 6. Interesting. So, interesting. So it could be just the first half of the year is just going to be something that's just going to be pretty intense. I feel like it's going to be something where, you know, a lot of the karmic cycles that were ending at the end of 2020 are just going to come into your life full force. All of the things that you were trying to manifest is just going to come full force into your life towards the beginning of the year. So then these black ones are going to be something that's going to come into your life that you needed to change, something you needed to change, kind of shake things up a little bit, because whatever it is was no longer serving you any good. So now here's going to be coming in as well. Right, we got 1, 5, and 6. So another 1. And another 6. So definitely something specific with 1 and 6. Potentially it could be with that 7 of Swords, though, it's really in the 7 of Cups, they're really screaming at me. So I feel like it's really just a lot of not beating yourself up so much. Understanding that the things that you're going through is okay. It sucks, but you are so strong. You're so amazing. You have to be powerful. You have to be that, you know, high priestess under there and trust yourself a lot more. These red ones are going to be love. I'm letting people kind of dictate how they want to put this into their life. Usually it's for like love, specifically like romantic love, but people do associate this with family things as well. So however you want that to fit to your life, and we will see. Okay, so we got 2 3s and a 4 that time. And I love how that one over here is sitting on a 4. So I feel like there's going to be something. There's a lot of 6s popping up. So I feel like it could just be a moment where there's going to be that balance. You know, the balance scale, things like that. There's going to be a lot coming in for you. This one just, this whole thing just makes me feel just like I need to give someone a hug. Like this, like hardcore, like this one is like making me kind of like not sad. I'm not sad. I just want to go give someone a hug. I want to go hug someone that needs a hug, someone that needs love and everything like that, that they don't believe in themselves, whatever it is. I feel like I just want to go give someone a hug right now. So with this lucky number dice here, we're going to see if there's anything specific. This could be a number that just means significantly something for you, whatever it is. Obviously, it only goes through until 6, but you know. And of course, I've had some people tell me that whatever number this lands on, that number of every single month, in terms of years or whatever it is, or like that specific month, it was something very specific to that. So we'll see what anything pops up for there. 3 again. So I feel like for the 3, even though you didn't get any 3 cards, technically, I feel like the 3 is popping up to let you know that things are starting to change, things are starting to move. You do have a lot of things, like, you know, the Vulture card is 6 and 3. Here we have a 9 over here. There's a lot of variables of 3 and 9. There's a lot of variables of 9 and 3 and 6 and what have you. So I feel like 3 is going to be something pretty specific for you. It could be the entire month of March, or it could just be 3s in general, whatever have you. I feel like for some of you, if you're not already seeing 333, you could start to see it here in the near future, potentially right after the beginning of the new year. But this is what I have for you, group number 3. Again, group number 3. There's a lot going on for you that's coming in 2021. You really do have to build up your confidence and understand that the strength that you have within you is actually there. You have to believe it. It's okay to ask for help when you need it. Everything is happening for a reason. You do need to heal yourself, though. Shed the old like a snake would and strengthen yourself with the new. And until next time, y'all, know yourself and know your power. Bye. Hello, pile number 4. If this is the one that you chose based on pile number 4, or if because you were just curious about the crow in general, Actually, notice that just added up to 4, and that was not on purpose. But the crows are, I feel like crow energy in general is very determined. You're kind of a hopeless romantic for some of you. I feel like for a lot of you, you kind of do the stereotypical witchy thing with collecting anything shiny, a lot of jars, what have you. So I feel like for a lot of you, this is something that's very, like you're a collector, you're an artist, things like that. So you have very creative energy, what have you. So I'm very curious to see what kind of cards we can get for you as well. So we have a few, not too terribly many, but we're going to be starting with tarot as usual. Oops. We've got 5 of them this time. The first one is the 2 of Cups with Aquamarine. I am worthy of the deepest kind of love. Absolutely. And this doesn't always, even though I say when this pops up for readings, especially for love readings, this is more of like a lover's card than a lover's card. But I feel like for this can also represent the love and compassion and relationship that you have with yourself. So, depends on how that pertains. 4 of Sword with Sugarlight. I always screw that up. I always mispronounce that or whatever, so I don't try. But I take the time I need to rediscover my vitality. So the 4 of Swords is a cup about, or rather a card, about taking time to rest. You are needing to rest. Things are coming in. You are changing things up, whatever it is, but things are needing to hit a bit of a rest period. You're needing to pause to gain your strength to just really, just kick ass, basically. So this next one is the 10 of Wands with Garnet. I love and care for myself first. So the 10 of Wands is all about all of the things that you do, everything it is that you are working on, working towards, whatever have you. You have been carrying a burden, whatever it is. You've been working your butt off, and now is the time to recognize that it's okay to rest and relax, just like with the 4 of Swords. The next one is the 10 of Swords, with that one that I'm not going to try and pronounce again. I see the truth in this ending. So this is about the pain, the anxiety, the fear, whatever have you, is ending. Things are not going to be driving you crazy anymore. Things are going to be okay. Things are happening for a very specific reason, whatever have you. And of course the 10 of Swords with that stone specifically that I won't try to pronounce again. I see the truth in this ending. These have like all little affirmations at the bottom of the cards pertaining to things that help you get through the situation that you're in. The last one is the 8 of Cups with Aquamarine again. I accept my situation without resistance. So the 8 of Cups is all about the experiences that you're going through, whatever have you. It's happening for a reason, but also the 8 of Cups is coming in to say that you are emotionally done. All of the things that you're going through, all of the things that you are experiencing, whatever have you, you're just done. You have exhausted yourself to the point where you are no longer willing to stay in that situation. So I feel like for the crow specifically, you're just willing to take flight. You are moving on. You are recognizing the pain that you've gone through, and you're just willing to just take flight and move away from it. The oracle card you have for this one is the Old Key. Let's see if I can talk today. The key to succeed and power is in your hands. Unlock the knowledge to your potential. So I feel like for some of you, you don't really trust yourself in terms of your goals. I feel like for some of you, you sit there and you're like, oh, I might be able to do this, I might be able to do that, and it might work, it might not, but I feel like it's a situation too where you have to really trust yourself in order to move things forward. And also understand that you have the power to change it as well. Your next 2 cards are these ones. The first one is Portal of Light. It is only this physical reality that is bound by time and space. You are a conscious being on levels beyond the physical world. You are guided to work with your healing powers beyond the confines of time and space. You will not become ungrounded through such spiritual work. You are not leaving your earthly connection behind. You are merely adding to it. And then, of course, that amazing artwork. I feel like it's also something, too, where you're, like I said, needing to just take a step forward, move on. There are things that are changing. There are things you're flying towards. The crows obviously do help represent, technically the other side, so to speak. So I feel like for some of you, you're stepping into something new. You're stepping onto that other side. You're stepping into something that's brand new to you, or it's a situation where if you are working on potentially or emotional gifts, your psychic gifts, your empathy, your situation as far as like being psychic and whatever not, being intuitive, I feel like that's something too that you're working at being strengthened, because with these 210 cards here, it's the end of that pain, the anxiety, the unsure, the unwhatever, and you're working on being a lot stronger than that. And then your next one is the Dark Healing Chamber. The most challenging task is to take courage in both hands and journey within to meet our own dark self and begin the healing task of bringing love, acceptance, and light to it. The sacred purpose of any enemy, within or without, is to push us to venture inwards to seek and heal the darkness within. So I feel like for some of you, this year coming could be a bit of a shadow work moment, or it could be a situation where all of the shadow work and all of the resting that you've done and all the work that you've done is going to come through. You're going to recognize all of the healing and all of the work that you've done over this last year. In 2021, you're going to recognize and see the rewards from that. And you have the Crow again. Co-create with spirits. Like I said, the other side, I feel like for a lot of you, 2021, if I can get this card, let it go. I feel like 2021 is going to be a moment, like I was saying, like even with this here, I said at the beginning, like it's a relationship with yourself as well. I feel like for some of you, it's going to be a relationship with yourself. Cat spirit, claim your independence. Yes. So a lot of things, a lot of people potentially, for this group specifically, you are needing to recognize your own independence, put your best foot forward type of situation. So I feel like for a lot of you, you're going to be really working on that, working on your independence, working on your I just heard self-durability. So I feel like for some of you, with that confidence is going to be coming in of like understanding the power and strength that you have within. Oh, the groundhog spirit, time to let go. Let go of the pain. Let go of the anxiety and the fear and the heartache and whatever else. There's so much good and there's so much, so many better things coming to you that is going to be right there. You're not necessarily going to be able to see it quite yet, but I feel like soon it's going to just kind of just blow you away. When it comes into your life, it's going to be a situation like, this is what I've been looking for. And here it is, staring you right in the face. It's going to give you a bit of a shock, but it's definitely going to be something that's going to be coming forward for you. Your next one is the Mermaid of Immersion, complete commitment. Commitment to yourself, commitment to other people, commitment to your dedication as well, being dedicated to your time and space and all of the things you're wanting to manifest and whatever not, just being dedicated to it 100%. Understanding that the commitment that you have is also going to be moving forward on the next big thing. Like I said, you're emotionally done. You're also emotionally ready for the next step. So these are going to be affirmation cards type situation. This is ancestor. Your ancestors and your spirits, the universe, everybody is guiding you. This whole card is purple, shades of purple, a little bit of white, but shades of purple. This is all about your ancestors and everyone guiding you to your highest light, your highest potential. There is so much that you're needing to connect with. And I feel like a lot of you are needing to connect with spirit as well on a level that you might not have done before. And I feel like for this coming year, you're really going to be able to. Say yes to your open door. I love this. So this is about doors opening. This next year is going to be coming in. It's going to be throwing things at you. It's not going to be a bad thing. It's probably going to scare the hell out of you a little bit. But it's a situation that things are going to be happening in such a big way. You're going to be very excited when things happen, but you're also going to recognize that things are going to get thrown at you. It's probably going to scare you a little bit, but you're also going to need to recognize that when things come in, it's just going to be one after the other. All of the synchronicities that are going to happen, all of the things that are changing, everything like that, it's just going to be one thing after the other type of situation. You're going to recognize all of the goodness and all of the happiness and all of the, the heartache and the pain, everything with that Ten of Swords. It's done. It's over with. It's completed. That karmic cycle is no longer going to be holding you back. So then we're going to be pulling, rolling, drawing, however you want to look at that, some letters and see what we can get for the letters specifically, anything pertaining to you. Could be names, acronyms, initials, whatever have it. At these ones. Alrighty. We have an A, we have 2 E's. There's a C. We do have an X, which is interesting. And a Z. And another C. So that is interesting. So that could be... I do see Zach, Z-A-K. I see fax as well, F-A-X. I don't know if that's anything pertaining, but that could also just be something specific. Could be initials, whatever have you. And that's just, you know, if nothing in there means anything to you, it's okay. There could just be not anything specifically in that message for you, and everything else could be for you specifically. So we're going to be rolling the number dice as well as the lucky number dice over there. We're going to be seeing, over here, and we're going to be seeing what is popping up for you. The white dice are going to be something significant that's going to be coming into your life, kind of like an aha moment, or just recognizing when something kind of just stares you right in the face, like I was saying before. Okay, 2 and then 2 4s. Everybody's getting repeating numbers. I'm not even kidding. Everybody's getting so many repeating numbers in this. It's absolutely flabbergasting. So that could be something significant with February. February 8th, 4th could be that second week or whatever have you. So there's going to be something very interesting happening at the beginning of this year. I feel like there's going to be a lot of synchronicities that's going to be happening within the first beginning of the year. That's going to be just those karmic cycles ending and everything just pretty much staring at you in the face at the beginning of 2021. Then here, these black ones are going to be something significant, something that has to change or tweak within your life, that needs to change because it just has to. It no longer serves you any purpose, so you're needing to just let it go. We've got a 4 and then 2 2s. Interesting. So both of these have 2s in them, which is very interesting. There's also a 4. So I'm very curious how this is going to roll for you, specifically, personally, of course. That could be, you know, each individual person's journey is a little different, of course. So I'm very curious if that is going to be something like at the beginning of this year. Definitely let me know. You know, just you can comment on the video again later in the year, whatever have it, and then just see if something's significant for you in February. For some of you, it could just be in February specifically, you've already made the decision to move or whatever it is, and you're just like, okay, I'm moving. February is the day that I move, or the month that I move, or whatever. So very curious. And then here, these red dice could be anything specific related to your love life. Could be romantic. It could be your personal love relationships, and whatever way that you mean that. Some people attach this to their families, whatever have you. So we'll see. And a repeating number again, 6, 6, and 1. So there's a lot of repeats. Like I was saying, there's a lot of synchronicities that you're going to notice within this. It's going to be a lot of things happening for you that you're just going to sit there and be like, oi, okay, I take the hint. I can see it. Okay, thank you. Moving on. So we're going to be rolling this one. Lucky number dice. See, sleeve keeps falling down. Lucky number dice. See if there's anything significant that we can get for you in terms of numbers and whatnot. I feel like sometimes I've had some people, especially when it's a yearly reading or whatever have you, I've had some people say that the number that this rolls on plays a significant part in every single month of that year, or a year, or whatever you have it. So let's see. And you got a 6 again. So I feel like the 6 is going to be pretty important for you. That balance scale, learning to believe in yourself, learning. The 6 is coming into play because these things are going to balance out. Like I was saying, whatever it is you're manifesting, everything coming into play is going to help you with that. The universe is guiding you. There's going to be a lot of opportunities with that door opening for you. There's going to be a lot of things just kind of thrown at you. The key to your success, everything like that. I feel like a lot of the key to your success is also going to be getting in touch with your spirit and spirit in general as well, especially because you got the crow twice. 2 different decks, you got the crow twice. So I feel like that's a situation where you really need to recognize when your ancestors and when spirit is talking to you, because even though you might hear it, you might miss certain parts of the message because you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I heard that, I understand that, yada yada. But I feel like for some of you are needing to really hear the whole message. Write down your dreams, whatever have you, manifest it, write it in a journal, whatever you want. I actually do have a video on my channel about manifestation and whatnot, so definitely go check that out. I'm going to be doing a few videos on that. So this is exciting. Group number 4, this is excitement worthy. I'm stoked to see how your 2021 is going to go for you. Definitely let me know if you want to. And until next time, know yourself and know your power. Bye. Hello, pile number 5. So this is going to be your reading if you're curious because of the pile number 5, or if you were just curious because of the jaguar. So jaguars are, I don't want to say sneaky, but you're quiet. You take to yourselves, but you're also a loner a little bit. Similar to the coyote, you're a little bit of a loner. But I feel like also as well, the jaguars are a little bit more headstrong compared to coyotes. I feel like you are very dedicated, you're fierce, you're a protector. You are that person that you'll sit there and be like, you mess with my family and you're going to regret it type of situation. So I feel like you are very protective of your things, of your people, what have you. We're going to see what your 2021 has in store for you. All of them have been very interesting and very good and very transformative. So I'm going to be seeing what it has for you. We're going to start with some 5 tarot cards. These cards are new, that they have affirmations down here and then crystal association as well. So the King of Wands with yellow calcite. I am successful in all that I do. This is a confidence card. This is a hardcore confidence card. This is like all the things you're wanting to do, manifest, whatever have you. You're passionate, you're driven, you are successful and determined. Your next one is the 8 of Wands with garnet. I manifest multiple opportunities. 8 of Wands is all about things moving forward. Things, literally, for most decks, it's sticks flying through the air. You are flying forward type of situation. So I feel like that's also going to be pretty much what is going to be coming in for you. So definitely a lot of things coming in. Uh-oh, I didn't draw. I thought I had 5. Apparently not. So next one is the Queen of Cups with the Angel Aura Quartz. I trust my knowing and follow my heart. So the Queen of Cups also knows that her passion, her understanding, her emotions do not control her, but she also knows when to put the lid over the cup, so to speak, and not overdraw from herself. Because I feel like for some of you, you tend to do that. You give and give so much of yourself to the point where you need to stop. And the Page of Pentacles with Pyrite. I am open to opportunities for personal growth. So I feel like for a lot of you, it's definitely a moment of growth. I'm going to have to draw one more card. But it's definitely moments of learning where you can grow, learning different opportunities, different aspects of your life, and learning that wherever it is you're wanting to, head down whatever pathways you're wanting to head down to, it's definitely something where you're needing to learn from that and grow into that phase of your life. So I'm going to be drawing this, what the back of them look like. So I'm going to be drawing one more card. These are a little bigger, so I can't really shuffle very well on camera, but what can we get for anyone that chose the Jaguar? And see what else is going to be coming in for their 2021. Whoop! On the floor. Okay. Always on the floor. Okay, so in lieu of getting just one, we got multiple. We ended up getting 3. Okay. So the first one we have here is the Moon card, Rainbow Moonstone. My intuition guides me to the right decision. So I feel like there's a lot of things coming in for you that you're having to just really be guided by your intuition and whatever have you. I feel like for some of you, you might not trust your intuition, maybe you need to. Next one is the Wheel of Fortune with Green Aventurine. I trust whatever the universe brings me. This is all about that things are happening when they need to, as they need to type of situation. I feel like for some of you, you might not want to hear that, but you kind of need to. The next one is the 5 of Pentacles with Malachite. I am supported and never alone. So with the 5 of Pentacles, usually that's a card about you kind of overlooking the bigger picture, or things that are trying to come into your life, you're kind of ignoring them, or you're not paying attention to them, whatever have you. You're walking right past things that are staring at you, obviously, in the face. And I feel like for 2021, that's going to be a moment where you're going to stop doing that. This is the skull. For when one life ends, another begins. You are being called to see the parts of your life that need to die off and be reborn. So I feel like this is going to be a moment, like I was saying, there's a lot of things that are happening that you're just going towards. You're moving on. There are things that are happening. You're like, here we go. Other than being done with 2020. Your next two cards are these ones here. The first one is Proper Burial for Freedom. There is nothing to be gained and everything to be lost by trying to hold on to that which no longer serves us. Skull. Osiris, Lord of the Dead, guides you now to release that which no longer needs to be a part of your life so that you may be free. Absolutely. There are things that are being put in your life, or things that were put in your life in 2020 that you're just sick and tired of. You're done with it. You're moving on. You're kind of, I heard waking up. I feel like you're waking up. You're starting to feel like you're waking up suddenly from like a really bad dream. And this next one here, Pillar of Light. Pillar of light, burning bright, earth star below, soul star above. Burn away all that is not light. Transform all into unconditional love. Star of Isis, descend, your blessing and peace without end. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine protection. Perfection, excuse me. Same thing. So I feel like for this a lot, this is going to be, it's kind of a little bit of a prayer as well. So it's kind of that as well. You can take a screenshot if you want to save that as an actual prayer later. But I feel like for that card specifically, it's coming in, especially because you get, I feel like that's like, it vibes with the Jaguar pretty well because there's a lot of things coming into your life that you're like, hear me out, you know. So this one here, we have the Beaver Spirit. Lay a solid foundation. So I feel like for a lot of you, you're going to be, make sure that's one card, okay. You're really just moving on. You're really dedicated to your time and your energy. You're dedicating your time and your energy to very specific things. And you're really just, 2021, you're really killing off the parts of your life that you're just over. You're done. You're sick and tired of the BS, whatever have you, and you're just moving on. The next one is Turtle Spirit. Slow and steady wins the race, quite literally. So I feel like it's a moment too where you're really rising up and understanding yourself, understanding that things that are coming into your life is because you've been working hard. You haven't been jumping the gun or anything like that. You've been really dedicating yourself to very specific things, and that's really helping you move on and move forward. Next one is Eagle Spirit. Spirit has your back. Okay. Like I was saying, there's a lot of things that you're being led towards that you really have to recognize when things are being put into play, so to speak, because a lot of times we kind of overlook some things and you're being led to stop overlooking them, that the gods, your ancestors, your spirits, the universe, whoever it is you walk your path with, is really trying to help you lay that foundation and show you that the work that you've been doing is for a good reason. Next one is Mermaid in a Koi Pond. Rediscover your individuality and become the dragon. So I feel like for this one, it's all about being strong, being dedicated to what you want, being dominant, but not being a jerk. Understanding, like with the Jaguar, being protective of yourself, of your work, of your future, whatever have you, but just don't be a jerk, basically. Don't let other people be a jerk to you either. These are kind of like affirmating cards type of situation. Find your star family in this cosmic game of hide and seek, and that's kind of like a little clock. So I love that card. I really do. This is definitely talking about the things that you're needing to do, whatever have you, is coming into your play, or is coming into play. You're starting to notice a lot of people come into your life online, or whatever have you, in your life physically, that are really just, you click with them. I feel like 2021, you're really going to start to find your soul family and find a lot of these people that you actually click with. The next one is 3, 2, 1, jump. Jumping into action, jumping into things. You are being tested by the universe in a way that's probably not your favorite right now, but it's also a situation too where you're just going to be able to see these things and see when things come into play. This is all about, jumping into a different kind of dimension as well. There's a lot of things coming into play, and everything that is just one after the other. There's a lot of things coming in that you're just going to sit there and be like, huh, I don't think that that was anything that I wanted to prepare myself for, but the universe is going to throw it at you anyway. I feel like a lot of things too with this is going to be, God, just so much rising up, so much moving on, so much. I feel like for some of you, you are actually moving, like moving physically, like literally, and that's great. I feel like it's going to be a bit of a learning curve for you, especially with that Page of Pentacles, a little bit of a learning curve, trusting your intuition and whatnot. But I feel like for a lot of you, you're just so at the point that you're just done and over with whatever it is that's going on in your life right this second, that next year you're going to be like, I'm literally moving. Like if you live at in a place that you don't want to live at anymore, whatever it is, you're like, I'm moving, I'm done. Here we go. So we're going to be drawing some letters to see what we can grab for you. If there's anything specific with your letters at all. Give those a little bit of a shake. Get these out of the bag here. Okay. I don't know why, I just saw boa right off the bat, maybe because those were right next to each other, but we've got an A, we have an O, a B and O rather. 2 O's actually. We have N, we got a Z, L. I know these are not in order, don't yell at me. I, R, dips, T. Interesting. So I feel like for there's a lot, like just my brain is working so hard to see things in with this right now, but I'm just having a big old brain fart. Like I said, I see boa, you know, BOA right off the bat as in the snake, but it's very interesting. So I feel like for some of you, that could be your name somewhere in that jumble, or it just could be an acronym, initials, whatever have you. That is a situation that is very specific to you. The letters don't always have to pertain to everybody with these readings. Sometimes people don't find anything within the numbers, or rather within the letters, and then the numbers is what actually hits. Whoops. So with these little guys, we're going to be drawing the white ones first, or rolling the white ones first. This is something significant in your life that's going to kind of just hit home. You're going to have a bit of an aha moment, something that's going to be happening in your life that's pretty significant. Right. 3, 4, and 6. Had to look at that for a double check, make sure that that wasn't a 5. So 3, 4, and 6, that could be something within March, April, into June type of situation. I feel like the beginning of the year is going to be just so freaking hardcore because everyone's getting the same numbers basically. So definitely something within the beginning of the year is going to be pretty important. And then the black dice are going to be something important as well, but this is just something that needs to change, something that's just no longer purposing, something that's no longer serving purpose for you. And then of course the 8 of Wands there as well, something that you potentially need to move away from. So we're gonna 3, 5, and 6. So I feel like 3 is potentially going to be pretty important for you. 6 as well. And I love that this is a 6. Is this a 6? No, that's up to 5 though. But there's a 6 here, 6 and a 2 there. So I feel like 6, finding that balance, everything like that, things are going to balance out this coming year in 2021. A lot of things that you felt were just really crummy and really just absolutely horrible in 2020 are just going to be so much better in 2021. You're going to be able to breathe. And then these red dice, I'm kind of letting people dictate whether or not they want this to be more family pertaining or whatever have you. Most people do like the idea of like the you know, I've rolled people's anniversaries before, so whether it's love or whatever have you, however you want this to identify with your love specifically, whether it's with a relationship, with a significant other, or with your family in general, that is just what that personally sticks to with your life. And we'll see what we can get here. Okay, so you have 6, 6, and 5. So 6 is pretty important. Something going to be very important with 6, so maybe June specifically could be that. But I really feel like it's a situation where 6, finding that balance, learning from the balance and everything like that is going to be something pretty significant for you. So we'll roll this lucky number dice and see what we can get for it. I've had some people say that it rolls like a certain number, and then that number is like the most significant thing. Everything seems to like revolve around that number. So we will see what happens here. And a 4. So I feel like that balancing everything, I love how I try to land on the koi, and that is the 41st card, but interesting. So I feel like there's just a balance. There's that, that 4 in terms of the tarot is the 4 of wands, whatever have you, things coming in, things changing, things being so much better than you thought before with the 4 of cups and whatnot. I feel like there's going to be just a lot coming into your life that's going to be a lot better than you thought it was going to be before. I love this. This is you need to learn a little bit of patience. That just kind of screamed at me. You're needing to learn a little bit of patience right this second. Not necessarily throughout all of 2021, but you're needing to learn a little bit of patience because things are being drawn to you. Slow and steady wins the race type of situation with the turtle. So I feel like there's a lot of things coming in that you're just going to need to just chill. Things are coming in, things are going to change, but you are going to need to learn and hear and whatever not, a little bit of a quiet moment compared to before. So until next time, y'all, this is what I have for Jaguar. And until next time, know yourself and know your power.